question for you. If if you had a U.S. vote, who would you vote for, Trump or Harris?
If I had a U.S. vote, I'd vote for.
If you had a U.S. vote, who would you vote for, Trump or Harris?
Trump or Harris?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, if I had a U.S. vote,
If you had a U.S. vote, who would you vote for, Trump or Harris?
For me, it would definitely be.
What's going on, y'all? This is D.A. Born. I'm the host of Breaking Mediocrity and Born with Purpose, and this is part 2 of If Canadians Had a U.S. Vote. And if you haven't seen part 1, where I was at York University, go check it out in the link below. But I'm going to a multicultural church today, and I'm going to give you a heads up. This is the church that I attend to every single Sunday, and it is a multicultural church, which means it is a blend of black and white people. Canadians, as well as other races as well. The pastors are white, but however, I'm gonna give you a heads up. You know what? Our pastors preach the word of God. They preach the Holy Spirit. They do not talk politics. They do not talk politics. So I'm just gonna let you know ahead of time, especially if you see certain answers and you be like, "Whoa, what's going on here? Is there propaganda?" No, there's no propaganda. The people I ask, they have no idea what I'm gonna ask them. So it's going to be very random, and you're going to see the results. So I'm looking forward to seeing the results. If you have not liked, shared, and subscribed to this, I hope you do so. But anyway, let's get into the video. I'm looking forward to hearing the answers, and I hope you do too. All right, let's go. What's your name?
Joshua Deslandis.
Joshua. Okay, I got a question for you. If you had a U.S. vote, who would you vote for, Trump or Harris?
If I had a U.S. vote, I'd vote for Donald Trump.
Really? Okay, you a black young adult like you. Why would you go for Donald Trump?
If I was an American citizen, I think that Trump would have just really aligned with my values a whole lot more. Okay. I think that Trump is really exuding a lot of like beliefs that America first, protectionist, like as an American. Like, yeah.
Okay. Did you see the what Barack Obama said addressing black men, saying that black men voting for Trump is unacceptable? What would you say about that? Thanks.
I think it's kind of really selfish for people to say like whether you gotta vote for somebody because of their skin color. I think that honestly, in reality, we have to vote people based on their policy. So I think policy-wise, it's a different argument. So you really can't say that you can't vote for somebody because they're not the same skin color as you. Policy matters more than anything else.
Okay. Are you a university student?
Yeah, University of Toronto student in Scarborough.
Okay. No, because I recently went to York University, and it was majority of them said Harris, and I'm believing. So why so much? Why did the Gen Z crowd so much lean towards Harris?
I think Kamala Harris is bringing a whole diverse group of voters to her voter base. Mm-hmm. She's really rebranding herself. She's on TikTok. Trump is on TikTok too, but she's on TikTok. Kamala Harris is talking to youth a whole lot more. She's on different podcasts and she's talking to young people, and so it's a lot of motivated young people to support her in her base. So I mean, it makes sense for that to happen.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. I know you're probably rare in terms of, especially in this country, in terms of the direction, right wing, left wing, and stuff. But yeah. Anything else you want to add before?
Yeah, I would say though, as an American, I would vote Trump. As a Canadian, I'll go Kamala Harris. Let me tell you why. Kamala Harris, she is less protectionist than Trump. So a protectionist Trump would create this trade policy, NAFTA, and Trump has already said that he's going to renegotiate NAFTA. And so what's going to happen is that Trump's going to really be more American first than ever. Because, now he's out of office. He's gained a lot more voters. He's more motivated than ever. He got shot. Like, there's a lot of things that he's like really motivated about. And one thing he's motivated about is to kill Canada in that trade. and so would mean lesser jobs for us, a whole lot of jobs moving to the south. No matter who becomes prime minister in Canada, it's going to be a whole lot of stuff moving to the south. Wow. So as an American, sure, Trump would be a great option, but as a Canadian, I'll go for Kamala Harris.
So you're in other words, you're saying it would be better for Canada.
It'd be better for Canada.
Harris gets in.
It'd be better for Canada. Our trade policy would be more lenient. At least Polyev could probably work with Trump on certain things, but I think Trump has become a lot more radical in his trade policies, that more protectionist policies and America First policies, that I think it's going to be much more of a devastating effect to Canada than anything.
Wow. Okay. Well, Joshua, I thank you for your time. This is valuable information.
For sure. Thank you.
Hey, what's your name?
My name is John.
All right. So my question here is, I'm asking, if you had a U.S. vote, who would you vote for, Trump or Harris?
Trump or Harris?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, if I had a U.S. vote, it's funny, it's an interesting question because, I mean, if you think about it, it's not really a question of Trump or Harris anymore. Because again, that's like just saying like you're voting for one person versus another person.
Right.
Kind of the same way it is here in Canada. We left that a long time ago. It's a difference of ideologies now. So now it's about ideology. It's about sanity versus insanity is really what it comes down to, is what it boils down to. If you're really paying attention, if you're listening to it. But again, if you're talking about my vote, if I had my vote in the US, again, you're not necessarily voting for a, Republican or a Democrat thing. You're voting kingdom. As a believer, if you do truly say you walk with Christ, then he's your vote. And that's what it is. And if you're looking at the Great Commission, and if you're really walking that out, you have to vote the policies that are going to drive that forward.
Right.
And that's really what it comes down to. You have to look at that. You have to look at everything from a kingdom mindset.
True.
And once you do that, that will shift everything. And you vote based on that. You don't vote based on what you feel. You vote based on what is going to build his kingdom above everything else.
Right. Well, let's see. I think that's the divide right now in the U.S. is that you have Christians that are going in one party because they believe one party is not as good, or they'll vote. They're voting for Harris because they think Trump is not a racist, or you'll have Republicans who think I'm voting for Trump because the system in Democrats is not good.
Right.
Why is that? How do you break that divide? That's a crazy thing.
Well, again, it's for a lot of people, you're not going to be able to necessarily break that divide. It's really, you got to do it. I mean, the funny thing is this, because if you're looking at things from like perspective of a lot of people, it's very tough. Like there's an old saying that like, a human being is an amazing thing, made in God's image. A human being is able to think in ways that, are incredible. They can do many feats and wonderful things, but people are stupid. You know what I'm saying? You get enough of them together and you end up with a real stupid thing at the end of the day.
Right.
You break it one person at a time. You can't necessarily go at a mass crowd, and it doesn't really work that way. And that's why even social media is a tough thing, or I don't really mess around with that too much, because again, you're speaking to millions of people at once. It's really, you have to kind of do it on a person by person level. You have to get one-on-one and have real conversations with real people, and try to get into understand their mindset, understand where they're coming from, and really try to break it down to what influences are in their lives to make them think that way. When someone says, like, oh, I believe, this guy's a racist. Okay. All right, good. Well, let me ask you this. How did you come to that conclusion? And number two, what is your evidence for that? And number three, have you ever considered maybe that you're wrong?
Right.
And so again, but you can't have those in large conversations. You got to have that on a one-by-one basis. Kind of like what you're doing.
Yeah. Hi, what's your name?
Andrea.
Andrea. All right. So I'm asking people around this church. If you had a U.S. vote, who would you vote for, Trump or Harris?
For me, it would definitely be Trump because his policies are more in alignment with the Bible. Not to say that they're 100% biblical, but Harris and the Democrats are for abortion and killing babies, and I can't side with that. So. Also, I just think in terms of capacity to lead a nation, Harris really hasn't shown that capacity and that strength. Whereas Trump has led before. And when he did, the economy was in a better position. The border was in a better position. So his track record speaks volumes better than Harris. They've allowed in so many illegals into the U.S. and they've done so much damage, I think, to the nation. So 100%, if I could, it would be Trump because policies and leadership capacity.
Yeah. So what do you think about this belief for, especially you as a black woman to be like, oh, I can't vote for a racist or convicted felon? Like what?
I think the racist statement is completely unfounded. I think you need to use your head and you need to vote it's about policies. If someone who said, and we actually saw this through 2020, if someone who said they were Christian but aligned themselves with policies that were unbiblical, they wouldn't get my vote just because you say that you're a Christian. That doesn't, or being black, like that. It's so low level a way to vote. It's about policies and about capacities to lead a nation. Right. And furthermore, the statements of him being a racist are unfounded. So it doesn't make sense to go on. Those are small things.
Yeah.
Compared to like if he's going to make racist policies, that's a different thing. But he's not doing that. Right. He's going to make the economy strong. He's going to improve the border situation, all the illegals that came in to the U.S. So he's gonna have a great impact on the nation.
Yeah. Well, November 5th, it's going to be very interesting to see where it happens. I still think it could go either way, but it'll be very interesting to see what happens. But I definitely thank you for your time.
No problem.
If you have any other things you want to add,
well, from what we can see, the tide is turning in the direction of Trump. It'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see what happens at the polls this year, because some of the shenanigans that happened last time won't really be able to, they shouldn't reoccur. So hopefully, it'll be a much fairer election election result. So thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Andrea. What's your name?
My name is Daniel.
Okay, Daniel, what's going on? If you had a U.S. vote, who would you vote for, Trump or Harris?
Well, I would vote Trump.
Okay.
Personally, I would vote Trump.
All right. Why would you vote Trump?
Because I don't think my values align with Kamala's and her party.
Yeah.
I don't agree with a lot of the things that it's the Democrats.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't agree with their views and everything. So as a Christian, I have my values and it goes against it. So I'd rather go with Trump. Although I don't think Trump is also perfect.
Right.
I think that he aligns more with my values and everything. So also, like, the Democrats haven't done, I don't think they've done the best job in the last, but I think that when Trump was there, he did a pretty good job. So, honestly, I would vote for Trump, honestly, as of right now.
Yeah. No, I appreciate, you being candid with that. Now, what do you think over this past week when, Barack Obama spoke to black men and he told them that voting for Trump was unacceptable? Did you hear that?
I didn't hear it, but if that is true, I don't think that anyone should influence your decision just because of your race or anything like that. I know they say Trump might be racist and everything like that. So I know that they try to push the black community to maybe vote for Kamala, but I don't think that should be the sole reason. I think that everyone should just pick with their own research and everything and not just be influenced by what the media says about one candidate. And it goes on both sides. And so and I've heard also Taylor Swift said you should vote for Kamala and stuff like that. So I don't think that any influencer or any celebrity should influence your decision.
No. Especially when they're already millionaires and billionaires, like
Exactly.
them being able to relate and stuff like that.
Exactly. That's a good point. That's
Yeah.
a good point. Yes, definitely.
Okay, well, okay, so what's your name?
My name's Caitlyn.
Hi, Caitlyn. I'm asking everyone around the church here, if they had a U.S. vote, who would they vote for, Trump or Harris? Do you have a opinion, or where would you lean more towards?
I mean, I don't really have much of an opinion on this because I don't follow it too much because we have enough going on in our country about who to vote for.
Right.
But honestly, as much as people might disagree, I kind of go for Trump because at least he's speaking his mind and we know what he's thinking, and he's not hiding anything or being like, oh, I'm a fake guy. He is who he is, and everybody knows it.
Right.
So that's if I had to vote, I think I would do that. Not that I know too much about it, but that's my reasoning for that.
Yeah. Okay. No, I definitely respect that opinion, because there are a lot of people who have no idea who they're going to vote for, even in the States and stuff. So, but yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, what's going on? What's your name?
Sean Cooper.
All right, Sean. So if Canadians had a vote and you had a chance, who would you vote for, Trump or Harris?
Trump.
Okay. Can you give me a explanation why Trump?
I think his policies are good for America. I think he has a heart for America. He's America first, and if I was American, I would believe in that too. So that's why I vote for him.
So there's so much things going on, especially you go across the border and everybody says, "Oh, Trump's a racist." What do you have to say about that?
I don't think he's a racist. He did a lot for American colleges. He did a lot for black people. Before, when he was a Democrat, all the black people loved him. But now he became Republican. Now they're saying he's racist. I think it's a cop-out because they don't want to support Republicans. So they throw out racism in front of Trump to get people to hate him and don't like him. And I think all the rumors about him is not true.
Oh, that's facts. That's facts. All right. All right. So actually, let's have you in here too. What's your name?
Nyoka?
Okay. If Canadians had a U.S. vote, would you vote Trump or Harris?
Oh, definitely Trump. All the way Trump, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why Trump? Well, I'm assuming you two are together.
Yeah.
Okay. So why Trump?
Well, because of his policies. And I want results. And I'm very keen on results. So when you bring results, that's the direction I'm going. I set my life based on hard work and results. So that's what I expect when somebody's doing a job, is to get the results done. And Trump proved that he did and can do that. So, yeah. And it's been a hard 4 years. So, yeah.
So it's not about identity politics at all.
Oh, no. I am not involved in the words and, emotions. I can handle that myself. I'm involved in the direction of my family and where we're living and how we're affected by our community. Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for answering the question, and appreciate your time.
All right.
What's your name?
Damian, the Slanders.
All right, Damian. Okay, so my question is, if you had a U.S. vote, who would you vote for, Trump or Harris?
Oh, I would definitely vote for Trump.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so why would you vote for Trump?
Just basically that he stands with Israel and he stands with the church.
Yeah.
He's got some values that I really like. And that's really it.
Yeah.
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 And he's a firm businessman too. He's firm on certain stuff for his country. He loves his country, and he stands for certain things for his country.
Yeah. Why do you think Americans are so divided with Trump or Harris? Like some Christians are very passionate about voting Democrat, and some are voting Republican. Why do you think that's such a ongoing thing? Like,
it's a very weird thing. Some people are and they want to kind of divide it between white and blacks too.
Right.
Like saying, okay, oh, she's black, she's Jamaican, or she's whatever. So they will tend to stick with her, and the white saying, well, they're trying to do that. They're trying to separate the country, which is not a good thing.
Right.
Right. So some white folks will say, oh, I'm sticking for Trump, and the blacks are saying, but I think, for me, basically, I think lots of black people are still voting for Trump
Yeah.
because of what he stands for and his value. And the church is also standing with him and behind him. Right? Not everybody, but
Yeah.
some are.
Yeah.
Some are. But the country is very divided.
What did you think about Obama talking to black men, saying that them voting for Trump is not acceptable? Like, did you hear about that, or?
I didn't hear about it, but I saw I heard in the grapevine about it, but that has no basis.
Yeah.
That is out of touch.
Yeah.
Right? Why are we talking about like that? Everybody's got their right to do and their own opinion. Why they want to vote? People should vote based on policies.
Yes.
Based on stuff that is good for their country, directions that the country should go in, defense, stuff like that, economic issues and stuff like that. Not based on black. Come on.
Yeah.
That's tasteless,
Identity politics.
baseless.
Yeah.
It's third world.
Yeah.
It's third world.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think what happened to the Democrats, they're grabbing at straws right now. I kind of sense that they're grabbing at straws.
Yeah. It's
They're
true.
they're losing a grip and they're grabbing at straws.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I
Yeah.
agree with that. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for your opinion, and much appreciated. And
You're welcome.
we'll see what happens. What's your name?
My name is Luke Gonzalez.
Hey, Luke. So I'm asking people, especially around in a multicultural church. Okay, so if you had a U.S. vote, who would you vote for, Trump or Harris?
Honestly, for me, it's a tough call, but I lean more towards Trump, so I probably end up voting for him.
Okay. Now, what would be your reasons for voting for Trump?
Just like some of the things that the party that Kamala Harris is a part of, the things that they stand for, I don't quite agree with, and I'm not a guy of compromise. So because there's even like a few things that compromise my beliefs, I would rather just go for Trump, who, although I don't agree with everything he says, he doesn't compromise my beliefs. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense. So what people always say, okay, well, Trump, why would you vote for a racist and a convicted felon? What would you say if that was your?
Honestly, it's kind of bad, but my take is just, honestly, every politician has that like narrative about them now. Like, you look up anything about any politician, they have some kind of racism or like criminal history, or they, even if they didn't get convicted, that's another big thing. There's a lot of politicians that get away with a lot of stuff, and it was just Trump was held accountable. And I feel like it kind of leans itself into cancel culture. I think is another reason why people care so much, is because that cancel culture is so big, and Trump is too vocal sometimes. Because he talks too much, he gets himself in trouble.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. I appreciate your opinion on this, and
Thanks.
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
My name is Sharice.
Hi, Sharice. I am asking everybody, if you had a U.S. vote, who would you vote for, Trump or Harris?
Trump.
Trump? Now, why you as a black woman would vote for Trump?
I think obviously I'm Canadian. I'm not American. So from the outside looking in, the U.S. has made things very racial and not about the policies.
Right.
And I understand Trump might not be the most pleasant individual.
Right.
He has a fiery personality. He can be a little unruly. But you're not voting for personality. You're not voting for him to make you feel comfortable about yourself or give you identity. You're voting on policies and how those policies are going to affect the country that you're living in. And I find sometimes we make things about race. Well, is he pro-black? Is he for affirmative action? Is he, doing things for the black community? And I'm not saying there shouldn't be policies that should support and foster things that are in the black community, but that's not the sole thing that he should be focusing on. He's the leader of the free world.
Right.
He is the leader of he will be the leader of the nation that will set the course of what happens in the entire world. So you don't need someone who is going to bring more division, although people say that he brings that. You need someone who is going to bring forth the best policies that's going to affect our country in the most positive way. And a lot of times people vote according to their feelings and not according to policy. Now, he's not, I wouldn't necessarily care. I like him as a person, but policies, if you were to say, put all your policies on paper, Kamala and Trump, whose would you vote for? And that's what you should vote for. You should be voting for a personality. And that's just how I see it.
Yeah. That's we'll definitely have to see what happens. Definitely, because especially the churches in America are so divided about this thing, but
right.
It'd be very interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, personality is not what's going to run the country. It's policy. And at the end of the day, sometimes people package negative policies in a pleasing personality, and then you like the person and they get voted in, and then they wreak havoc. Oh, well, they're such a nice person. You're not voting for nice people. You're voting for policy. And what do they stand for? And a lot of times people like Kamala, I'm not a fan of her, but she avoids questions and she doesn't answer things because she wants to avoid the truth about what she really stands for and the agenda that she's going to bring. Right? So that's just how I see it.
Okay. All right. Well, Sharice, thank you for your time, and we'll see what happens in November 5th.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see.
All right.
What do you believe is way more important. Get down to what it is that you believe, and understanding that your vote matters is a big part of it. And again, I think that's one of the biggest issues, especially when it comes to, I saw a stat the other day that said only 51% of believers vote. That's crazy. That is crazy. That's a scary thing. So here, 51% of believers don't exercise their ability to exercise change or to affect change in a way in a political spectrum, because they feel that, well, that's over there, that's for them, but that's not part of me. No, you're part of that.
Yeah,
you're part of that. Don't not vote and then come back later and complain about anything, because you gave that up.
Yeah.
If you don't vote, if you don't take a stand, then you've given up your right to be able to complain about it later. So that's it. That's where I'll leave that.
All right, man. All right.